So that was my beetroot recipe. No, it wasn't my beetroot recipe. That would be ridiculous, wouldn't it? We're just going to go through a few things that we need to make the ketchup. So you need a sauteing pan to toast the spices that we're going to be using, and we're going to be using fennel and coriander seeds. We need the saucepan so that we can cook everything to make the ketchup. We need our beetroot, obviously, seasoning, garlic, shallots, and some fresh thyme. Now we're going to toast the seeds over on the stove. So we've got the coriander and the fennel seeds in our pan with a little bit of salt that came through. We're cooking this on a low heat. We want to get them nice and toasted, so we really do get hit with the fennel and the coriander. Keep them moving around to make sure that, you know, one side doesn't get toasted or burnt, and they all get nice and toasted consistently. So these are toasted. They've just gone a little bit darker, and you can really smell the fennel and the coriander. Now don't worry about the coriander, it's not going to come through too strong. I know some people really do hate coriander and it's like Marmite, but if used correctly it's delicious. So we've toasted the fennel and the coriander seeds, and now we're going to prep the rest of the veg, ready to go into the pan and start making our lovely beetroot. So with the garlic, we're just going to crush it very easily, he says. And we're just gonna take the peel off, and we don't have to worry about chopping everything really finely, because it's going to be blended up, so it's not like we're making something that needs our veg all nice and pretty, because we are making a sauce. So that's the garlic done, and then now the shallots, we're just going to top and tail it. Cut it in half, take off the peel. You can take just one layer off and it makes it nice and easy to peel it. So we've just roughly chopped the shallots, and with the roughly broken garlic. It's very important that you crush the garlic, because we want the sweet garlic flavour to come through. If you don't crush the garlic and you just chop it, it tends to be a bit too spicy. Right, now we're going to peel the beetroot. We've peeled the beetroot and we've chopped it up. The beetroot does tend to get a bit messy, so it's up to you. If you want to wear gloves you can, but I just tend to just wash my hands afterwards. But your board will go red. There is other beetroot you can use. You can make a golden beetroot ketchup, which is less mess, where the beetroots are yellow, but I think red beetroot works the best. So we've got our saucepan, and we are going to add our beetroot, our shallots, our garlic, and our thyme, unpicked. We don't need to worry about picking the thyme because we're going to take the stalks out afterwards. We're then going to add some salt and some white wine vinegar. We're going to cover all of the ingredients in the white wine vinegar, and while it is cooking we're going to have to watch it and make sure it doesn't reduce too much. But we're going to do that. Just use all of it. This is now going to go on the stove, and we're going to bring it up to the boil and then turn it down to a simmer until the beetroot is tender. When the beetroot's tender, it's ready to blitz. So we've got our beetroot and all of our other ingredients, and we're going to pour in the spices, and we're going to give it a bit of a stir with a wooden spoon, and we're going to get the heat right up. Pop a lid on, and we're going to bring that up to the boil, and as soon as it hits the boil, we're going to take the lid off, let it simmer, and do its thing. And then when the beetroot is tender, we're going to blitz it up and cook some chips so that we can get dipping. So as we can see, everything is boiling. So we're going to take the lid off, and we are going to turn the heat down, and we're just going to let it simmer and let it do its thing. It usually takes, because it's such a small batch, probably take about half an hour or so. Right, so the beetroot has gone tender, and now all we need to do is blitz it up. So you need a blender, obviously, and you need to be very careful because it's still going to be warm, so be careful when you are pouring it into the blender. We're going to just get it right in. Obviously it's going to be really red, so make sure the lid is on the blender properly because we really don't want to make a mess. And we want it to go really, really nice and smooth. Now, depending on how powerful your blender is obviously the length of time that will take. But yeah, that looks lovely and smooth. So we're going to pour this into ramekins or into a container, and we're going to let it cool and cook some chips ready to get dipping. So that was my beetroot ketchup recipe. I hope you enjoyed it. I will put the recipe in the description as well, with all of the quantities and a little shopping list. Also, give me some ideas of what you want to see me cook. Leave a like or a dislike, hit that sub button. I've been Chris and I've made beetroot ketchup. Like, whereabouts is it on my head?